Well, given how much Rachel seems to be playing a role in the greater mythology and how fast they're actually revealing answers, how open are they being with you about the things that you should know from history versus...
You know, I'm pushy. Like, in such, what did my friend call me, a velvet hammer? I think that I'm like, I might even be like a velvet, like, you know, but I just write big, long things of, you know what seems to me to be the truth. And then they answer back, yeah, that's true, and that's not true, and don't talk about that, and where did you get that, and like that kind of things. And so I get a lot of it, I think. Yeah, the cast always jokes. They're like, Elizabeth's hooked up. I'm not hooked up. Nobody's telling me anything. I just keep writing these long essays, and I get go in that direction. Don't go. What are you thinking? You can't, that kind of thing. So yeah.
I imagine as an actress it's helpful to actually know what you're supposed to be playing.
It helps when I'm playing a morally reprehensible character, because if she's not likable, and I don't think that Rachel really is all that likable, the idea would be to go after something. I need to know what I'm going after, right? So rather than just kind of running around being charismatic, which is exhausting for an actress. I don't see any good in it. So I think the idea is that I like to know. I like to know. It informs my choices. And informs my lack of choice sometimes. It informs the fact that Rachel will do nothing. And then we kind of are like, why is she doing nothing? Because she's a sociopath. But I think that, no, I don't know if she is or not. But yeah, I find out stuff. I kind of ferret it out. I like it.
I imagine that you were like a really great student, because it sounds like you're doing a lot of homework and like handing in an essay and now like writing back with like red pen. And you're like, good job.
Well, they've started, instead of writing a whole new letter, they've just basically written in red my sentences, and they block them out that way. You know, and then occasionally Eric will just be like, just call me.
After class.
Yes, maybe after class, exactly. Which with Eric is really fun because he's so much fun to talk to. But you know, every second he spends with you, it's taken away from his writing, and you don't want that. But yeah, I mean, when I got into it, I love schoolwork. I like the knowing. Yeah, it helps me. I think it's a lot less work for an actor if we can simply just play what is. It's nice.
But obviously, Rachel has so many secrets from the audience, from Charlie. Going forward after Danny's death, does she try to reach out to Charlie by maybe letting her in on a little bit in order to
That would be so smart, wouldn't it?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like she doesn't have a lot of wiggle room in terms of like how to.
She doesn't have any wiggle room. No, she behaves horribly, and continues to behave horribly.
So
She does slap Charlie, we saw it.
Right, so there's no moment of them getting along.
Well, that's getting along. She can slap her back.
I mean, it's true. It could be worse.
Different approach.
As you call my son, she hurt you. No, I think they make attempts and they fail, and sometimes they come together and they fail again, and it's heartbreaking because I think it's actually quite real. I remember my relationship with my mother when I was a teenager, and it was really a terrible thing. And now my mom's my best friend, so she looks back on it and she's like, who were you? And I'm like, who were you? So I think that's about where they are now, with all the heightened things. And they're both in so much pain, and they should be able to turn to each other, but they're both so fractured, you know. And you know, Charlie gets really just so kick-ass in this next part of it. She's so tough and such a warrior, and it's so much fun to watch, you know. But I think that Rachel watches her humanity slip away. It's sad by that. Yeah.
What can you say about that device that she yanked out, and also doing that scene, because you have to be like grieving mother, and now I'm going to cut you open and pull this thing out.
It's happened to me a lot. I think that scene was really hard and really sad, and it's hard to imagine. It's like the body of your beloved and everything. So that was interesting, I thought, and it was actually incredibly easy to play because the horror of it was right there. You know, there's a poor shivering sweet kid, you know, underneath my knife. Like that's her. So yeah, that was a remarkably all right there. Yeah, but really sad, really horrible. And what she pulls out of them is fascinating. I'm just not allowed to say a word about it. There is one word.
Will we be finding that out in the next couple?
Yes. 2 episodes. I think. Yeah, look for the cool music and sitting across from Aaron, and you'll know it's about to begin.